45 minutes left in the trading session. Welcome back to the close. Here we go. Look at where things stand at this point. 1.37 for the NASDAQ, leading the way to the downside at this point. S&P close behind, 0.7 to the downside, 0.437 for the Dow there, also in negative territory. Not much in the way of positivity today, although Bitcoin holding on to a slight gain for the day. That being said, lots of names, guys, moving around this afternoon. Let's get into the last 45 minutes.
Yes, sir, Brennan. We got 45 minutes until earnings come through. We got Apple, we've got Microsoft, you've got Alphabet, you've got AMD and Boeing as well. They're all over the place. And a little bit, I don't know, this is not even really a debate, but it was like 2 seconds before he came on here, literally. Sean was dropping rhymes, and he was saying Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. That song or Crisscross Jump, which is the bigger classic hip-hop track? Well, you know what, I can't even defend it. It's got to be Sir Mix-a-Lot there. But anyways, let's see what you guys think about it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with crisscross, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm an old man. I want to jump in here. I got position on the OBSC, but it's not doing much of anything. Just watch out for Lucid here today. Did have a long, reversed into a short idea that got out at this 25.50 area. But it is bounced off VWAP. I mean, like on a dime on the 1 minute chart, like several times here. It's making other tests, some higher lows being put in. So watch out. I mean, Lucid could break. I need to break past VWAP, past this 26.25 level here, but it's been a good resistance point, so I know some people are long here. I would look first to probably fade it off VWAP at 26 and then look for a potential breakout. We're flat at the end of the day. You got to trade what moves. Lucid down 4% and giving a nice little pattern here.
Yeah, exactly. Crisscross will make ya. There we go. Thank you, Rob, for that one. I'm sure everybody in their head said the same thing. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there's so many big hits. I mean, we were just busting them all. There he is. Hey, what's up? Valeria, not looking, so great there. But yeah, what's up? Yeah, we're having fun here. It's almost like it's a Friday, but I checked my watch, and it is a Tuesday. And just to let you know, thank you for joining us one more time here for our closing show. And it's been raining all day here, so head don't lie, but I feel fine as we go. We almost took, we did, actually. Yeah, my bars are in the tank. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, yeah, we'll do a cipher. We'll do a cipher at some point. You'd be surprised. Okay, so 13.20 here. So this is what I was talking about with GE. So we did actually get just we were trying to go long as we left the show. This is basically what happened from 11 o'clock. It just went south side. We were able to get some out. I think this is 11.03, but anyways, we probably did this on the show for you. So that's that price right there. 11.03 started to drop down off VWAP. We averaged in. We got busted out at 95. Then it went up. We went long again. We got busted out at 90. And then that was enough at that point. And then I said, if we retake this bottom 95 level, then I want to go long and I want to be able to hold this for a bit. So we went long 95. We put on our largest position. And you know what? Let's be perfect. Let's call it what it is. And I'm not super proud of doing this, but this is a revenge trade here. So we did basically say, you know what? If we're going to be wrong, I'm going to give this one more shot back into this 80 level, which probably should have been my stop side to begin with, but it wasn't. So we take that, we go long, and then now you're seeing what's happening. Long 95s. Look at some of these outs, man. 10s, all the way up here as well. 17s, 15s. You're going to see a bunch of outs here as we broke through. No outs until 13.03. I didn't even take the 13 out. Normally we're sitting in front of that. So that's a good revenge trade, bringing us back to life here on GE. Still disappointing. I still thought we would take out this 13.50. It just turns out that was the high of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to get to intrusion here for a quick second. INTZ. There's a lot of names on the volume list today. This one's going to stick out. No 100% club. Although it was there, this stock did get to that 100% club and has since reversed. There have been multiple halts to the upside, but a lot of this action didn't happen until we were done the morning show. So this is one thing to keep in mind. You do get breakouts, you do get volatility that happens starting in the afternoon. You don't want to miss out. Another good reason why you might want to look at that halt page, NASDAQ Trader does have a nice little halt page. At least you could look at something like this and catch an idea of it when it makes that first halt at 12:30, when that one's at lunch. It has come back to the downside. There's been no halts since about 150 here, but there is an actionable level both at this 480. I always do that where I point to where it would break in the future instead of back here at support. So you have this 480. You also have that halt price of a 495, and that's kind of the target area I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a breakdown at 480. I would probably put a stop back around that 95 and 5 even on the event that we get a break. If it spikes to the upside, I just want to sort of note, I mean, you can talk about head and shoulders, knees and toes, or whatever you want, or kind of nonsense setups, or interesting setups, wherever you lie here. But you do have, after this last halt, there's your head, there's your shoulders, and you would have about this level here for possible resistance, 585, right in and around VWAP. Free shorts for us on this one, so I don't have to pay for the locates on INTZ. It's on my radar for a breakdown trade. If it pops into that 80 range, I would short it there. But the momentum, fading out a little bit. It could maybe make a bit of a breakout, but I'd rather play in the other direction. And OBSV, we'll get into that one in just a bit, but I'm still hanging on to that one. I want it down at 250. I mean, it closed at 250 yesterday. That one wants to give everything back today.
Okay, so on Apple Day today, it's been, you know, relatively uneventful. We got a 150 here in the pre-market, and that was going to be our spot to see if we took it out. But again, just like our last stock there with GE, it seems like the pre-market was the high for pretty much every stock today. So we do get that fade back in. We were able to survive a little bit here, got some nice longs backside there on Apple, but it is trying to figure out itself at VWAP of 147. I mean, if we take out this 145, then, you know, look out below. But I think we're still a ways away from that. You know, we got 40 minutes to go. One Chinese name that, again, I need to do a little bit more work on this, and that's going to be Pinduoduo. But I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention because I know we have Shakib that's always looking to buy more. Come on, chart. To buy more Chinese names and maybe others, and me included actually at this point. I just wonder how much of this is overdone here. Like Pinduoduo back in February was a $210 name, guys. All right, you're down to $78 right now, $78, $77. And if we actually zoom this even the other way, like these levels that we're coming up to now, and again, like this is going to be October 27th. Like, forget about the March lows, you know, during the pandemic, things like that. You know, stocks did bust out, but we are right back. And if you look at a lot of these different names, we're right back to a lot of these levels. So Pinduoduo down today around like 11%. I mean, you're gonna look at another name like JD. And I'm only doing this right now, and we will talk about, you know, how to trade today, but I'm just looking at, like, this is another 11%. A lot of these stocks right back to these October lows, right? The same with Pinduoduo. I can show up Alibaba, and I'm just wondering at this point, is this maybe a little overdone? And a name that we don't ever talk about too much because it's over there on the pink sheets, and that is Tencent. Like Tencent, again, I saw today that WeChat, and again, pardon our charts because it doesn't print in the aftermarket or the pre-market on our system, so it's going to look a little silly sometimes. But this was, again, 100. Like, this is WeChat. You think, like, WhatsApp is popular? You think, like, some of these other messaging services, iChat or whatever it is, popular? I'm a Google guy, I apologize. Is it called iChat? I think so. What's it called, Valeria, if someone messages you on iPhone? iChat, right? iMessage. Good one, Rob. Thank you so much for the new and improved, Valeria. So anyways, WeChat to the did I just say improved? WeChat to the downside and Tencent to the downside. Huh? These are huge properties, man. The problem is Tencent Music's getting hit, TME. So I again, this is a lot of talk about China, and I understand that. It's just I wonder if a lot of these names are getting to that level where you have to pull the buy at some point and step into it. So either one of those, JD, Pinduoduo, Baba, or Tencent, I'm sort of stamping a little small buy right now.
I think there's a point that you can get them in there. We said this morning, there was that level on I think it was like 150 on. If I even sniff that on Alibaba, it's just a little bit too ridiculous. And also watch out for them after Amazon has their earnings because, hey, they're pretty cheap, well, on a relative basis there. I will say this Chinese name because it's moving, and this is where day trading show 100 million shares. TAL breaking towards highs. Look at this lower high failure at 580. That's the level I'm looking at. Brenda, what's up, bud?
One that we were looking at this morning, guys. GE with a positive report here out in the pre-market. We're back above 13. If you go out to a daily chart, 13, pretty significant for GE. Still up 1.5% on the day, guys.
I feel like Brendan's trying to troll me with that GE, but I know he's not. We're just talking about news there. And GE, yeah, so we're 15 cents in the money right now on this GE trade. And again, you're going to look at a chart. I love GE for the future, but if you look at this has been pretty, oh no, that's the daily chart here. I was going to say, this has been pretty dead money for a while, and then you get this breakout happening back in October, November, and it's been nothing but some upside love. Let's go over to Boeing right now because they're going to be reporting as well today, down to 221 and change. This is another one of those rebuild or reopening stocks. I mean, they've just been getting hit here, hit, all the way down to 200 and change. We're still expecting, I'm expecting JetBlue. They were talking about putting forward a possible order for planes. And then when you're in a monopolistic situation like Boeing is, I mean, it's what? It's Boeing and Airbus? Like, who else? I mean, don't go in any Bombardier. Shout out to Canada. They haven't been doing too well. I can't even think they got our streetcars made properly. Down to 241.50 here. You know, there's some good little levels for Boeing. And I just think that today we'll see what the report's going to have. But, you know, looking at these levels, a breakthrough, a view up of 223 coinciding with some of these bottoms, I like that. So if we can get a break through 223 here into the close, we'll take that. The thing is, guys, look, there's going to be whispers and things like that when reports come out. So just be very, very careful that you don't take too many shares here of any of these names reporting. Do your research and don't take a big shot, as we have no idea where these reports are going to come out at. What's up, Brandon?
A few semiconductor names moving around, guys. This one, Amkor Technologies, reported aftermarket yesterday. So AMKR also got an upgrade today. Coming up to day highs, at least. We got up here right in the aftermarket yesterday following that report. But AMKR, another one, again, a semi, having a pretty good day, guys.
Yeah, like you're looking for that relative strength on a day the market is down that 1%. You'll find it with AMKR. You will find, like I said, with that TAL. But one that is still up on that can be deceiving, DYAI. The only reason I'm going to bring it up, it's not because I didn't have a reversal that I should have had. I took a breakout trade. It looked like it was going to be a good one. Was hitting that 550. We scalped some out, and we take the exact same hit that we basically got the win on, like 20-cent win, then a 20-cent hit. And then it should have been, because I got out here, and then it retested the high and put in a lower high. That's an A+ setup for me for the short side, where you try to get in at that 530 range. It just comes all the way crashing to the downside. So what we try to show winners and losers, but also you can learn from this trade here. And it's not about the win or the loss. It's about the fact that's a setup that I usually hunt for and never got on DAYI. You can see the volume tapering off here. So all systems go for the short. OBSV is one that we're still sitting in. Should probably cover it at some point. Lucid is not going to fill just yet, but it is creeping back up. It just bounced off 25.40. Remember, I want to short that off of VWAP, which is right at about 26. So we'll see if we can't get that trade on, but I want it closer to that 26 level to the short side. OBSV closed at 250 yesterday, all the way down here. Gap up pre-market, and this is a story about patience, guys. I was in this trade here short, then took it out way too early because I left the stop order at 8 o'clock. Dark pool dump came in. This wick happened and stopped me out. I basically wait for it to break down to get back in. It's a decent trade, but then I put a tighter stop once it put it in an opening range. Because if it couldn't sustain the move down, put in a higher low at this particular point after testing that same level, I then tighten my stop up, because if it breaks this here, I'm immediately anticipating it's going to test this level or the high. I wait for a rollover at either price. It doesn't happen until it tests the high of the day. I've done this before. You've probably seen at least sometimes where I'll have entry points here, I'll have entry points here. Not this time. This is how it's supposed to look. You get the short off of that failure at the high of the day, work it out to view off. I'm still holding. I held a quarter of the position for it to break down at $3, and then now just that last little 10% as it continues to head to the downside. No reason to get out of this trade. I'll put a trailing stop on it because we only have 30 minutes left to go. I won't let this thing get back above like 290, lock in at least 50 pennies, but I am looking for almost a clean dollar on OBSV, showing no signs of increased volume, nothing that scares me. TAL I want to get into, but that Lucid, and I know, like I said, I know there's people that might have a long position in this particular one. It just can't even seem to get off the schneid here. It has a good support level at 25.30 that it's put in a couple of times, but before you're getting tests all the way up to VWAP. If I can't get that VWAP trade, there's pretty much nothing there for me on the short side, because I don't know if there's enough momentum for a bottom break. At least the way it's been trading here, the tape is a little bit too slow. And I don't want to force things, guys. And that's one of the things that you got to do here is it's a trap. If you try to force trades or make things happen, you're going to set yourself up for a trap. So I want the conditions to get met for that trade. I want it to pop to the upside, and I can take that short off of VWAP, which looks pretty good to me. I have an entry point that I want for TAL if it can test towards its high of the day, which is getting very close, by the way. So I might be short one of those Chinese education names, which today was actually wrong, Sean.
Yeah. Oh, was it? I was going long.
TAL.
I was going long EDU and I lost. Let me just check that out quickly. I do want to talk about, I mean, small loss early, but yeah, not much happening. Still off that level from yesterday. If you guys, this is a 3-minute chart. So if you remember yesterday in the afternoon, we were looking at this 195 break, and look what happened today. It's the same bottom again. So like, if you want to take some risks here about Chinese names, maybe, and I know this is a little bit different because they may revamp their whole education system, at which point, I don't know where these stocks can go. I mean, look where we came from. Hello. Like 170, nah, that can't be right. That must have been a split all the way down to 10, probably a 10 to 1 or 20 to 1 there, or 10 to 1, I guess, split down here. But look at this, 240, 250, this split. Brendan, can you double check EDU on March 16th or 17th there? I think there was probably a split there just to make sure. But anyways, so this may be a buy. Okay, someone asked on the chat, what do I invest in? I mean, I just invest really in stocks, in crypto, and then in my kids. And I mean, that's the honest truth. I spend more money, it seems like, depositing into different activities than I do into my own bank account. It seems like that. The kids today at gymnastics as we speak, and then later on today, hockey. Oh yeah, and then also, you know what? I was at a store in Sherway, and these shoes, like different pairs, I'm wearing these. I'm not investing in these, but some of these Air Force Ones, there's a show there. There's a place called, and I have to, Box, what's it called? Space Box or something like that? Or Hot Box in Sherway, which is a big mall. Yeah, maybe you've heard of it. They have, vintage kicks, and they're like $400, $500, $600 a pair. So not for me. These are custom made for Father's Day, but that's another thing. Shoes, man. Shoes have been a great investment. Oh, yeah, I am invested in something else. NBA Top Shot. So I also play the NFT game there with Top Shots. So if you guys are into Top Shots, I also spin, and I kind of just scalp there. I kind of get it, and then I go, yeah, there it is. Okay, thanks, Brendan. There it is. So it is EDU. I mean, obviously looking at this, I can't tell you like, oh my God, it's down from $200 because I knew that wasn't going to be right. So there was a 10-for-1 split there, which was easy to see because 160 down to 16 right there. So that makes sense. So thanks to Brendan for that one. And you're going to see the same thing happen to GE on Monday where we flip that around. Oh yeah, new trade alert. While I was talking about that, I wanted to talk about AMD because when we went off the air there, AMD was just in an epic fall down, which was basically making me super nervous there as we go because we were up to $92. I think we can get back there. That was sort of the opening range that we were looking at. Once we broke through 91.80 to the downside, we just kept falling to 89 and change. So we're going to take this long right now. 91.30 long on AMD. That just triggered. Let's see where we go from here, but I like this long, getting it back. They report. If the NASDAQ wants to keep going, look at this epic fall. We've absorbed that. Now we're back. Let's see if the NASDAQ can hold this level. If so, I like AMD into the close. A nice little 15-cent win right here.
Yeah, and I guess somebody heard it when I was like under my breath. The only hotbox I know isn't that store. I've never really heard of it, but it is what it is. If you have got to invest in what you love. I have an affinity too much for something that's not an investment, and that's Lego. I'm a nerd. It is what it is. I'm trying to get this TAL. Sitting here at 55, had an offer at like 58, got an offer at 57 here. Can't seem to get the fill, but this cluster, it can't seem to break the high. So it's trying to put in that lower high. I still think it's about 578 to 580, but I don't mind starting this position a little bit earlier. Stick around at the end of the day because every now and then, we're going to show you a trade of the day, and you can see on Tesla there. I'm not positive on Tesla. Every now and then, we'll show you a trade of the day, which is more about like managing when you're wrong and then just making sure that you have a plan of action. So I came in with a long bias, particularly buying the dip, and I had some key levels. We talked about these at 8:30 and walking through the process as Tesla was flushing itself down the proverbial toilet, and how we're able to salvage a lot of this day by getting out, taking some hits, realizing them, getting back in off of only key levels. Now, I didn't have a key level down at 625. Clearly, if you did, you're sitting up rather pretty right now as it has made that bit of a bounce back. It is trying to get to this level here, just shy of that 650. We had this trade at the end of right towards the end of the morning show, off the bottom. It couldn't make a reversal. This was right around where VWAP was. I put it trailing in, got near to the high of the day there at 647, not high of the day, but a high of this move. And now we're retesting that same 647 level. So Tesla is trying to break back to the upside. The market is coming back in. So as much as I'm short OBSV and want to short TAL, I mean, Tesla looks pretty solid on a 47 break, although we're running out of time for a breakout trade, and I want to see a volume spike with it too. Brendan.
I just saw Workday, guys, trying to get back to the upside here. Still down significantly. If you remember, there was a story, not sure we touched on it this morning, but Workday was down significantly. Amazon apparently not using their HR software anymore. So it was down way more than this, still 4%. You can see there was this big spike about midday here. Got us back above 228. So trying to test these highs once again, 229 for W day.
Okay, so we did, yeah, good look. I actually did see that note a little earlier about workday. I wasn't sure what that meant, but good look there. As right now, just watching AMD, it does go as high as about 6. This is a 3-minute chart. Let me lower this a little bit there for a 1 minute. We just had that up there. So how high? Oh, we got about as high as that, 91.50. So we didn't get crazy high there. And I dropped the link to Hotbox so everyone knows what we're talking about. Some nice shoes there. I see some people talking Travis Scott, different things like that. So that's cool. Oh, would you, Daniel? Would you in NBA Jam? No, you would not, my friend. That is one thing that you would not beat me in NBA Jam, nor would you beat me in Street Fighter. But hopefully at some point we could talk about that. Look, I'll just be Shaquille O'Neal, kick it back to Penny Hardaway, hit some threes. If I need to use, look, watch this name. You want me to use some Scott Skiles on you? Then we'll do that as well on NBA Jam. So I'm trying to bring the heat both here and in video games as well. Mario Kart, let's go, guys. We're ready for this, guys. So we're going to get very, very ready.
They don't know about the Magic Quarter, man. Like the high school Sean and I went to, there was like it was like a Becker's, it was a convenience store, and they had like 2 machines. They had a Mortal Kombat and they had an NBA Jam. And I'm not going to name any names. We had a friend with like, he put a hole in a quarter, you could like slide it down, and it's like, you could play a maximum number of games. You get in the right spot in the sensor, and it's like jam, 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 jam. And you get multiple credits. And we just spent every single lunch hour playing NBA Jam. I was in the Mortal Kombat. Well, we played a little more Mortal Kombat, but I sucked at that. We're pretty darn good at that particular game, but it has to be the arcade. Arcade is the way to go, guys. Strong Like a Bull, the arcade game here, but Strong Like a Bull is XBIO, but I wanted to show this chart. Some people are saying it's strong going into the close. You're right about that, up 13%, close to those highs. But yeah, XBIO breaking out on big volume on the 23rd, decreasing volume every single day since that breakout, and lower highs every day since that breakout. So, as much as I want to be able to tell you, yeah, look how strong it is, this just feels like a fade off of that lower high if it gets to that 385. Very similar to what I'm looking at on TAL, that Chinese education name, guys. So there was already one spike up that failed at that price. It's now putting in another lower high. If it makes a push that can't get up to what is now the high at 372, I mean, it'd be all systems go short for me. I just finally got into TAL there to start at 57s. 580 is going to be the top for that move. If it takes it out, wow, that's somewhat of a recovery for that stock. But remember, I mean, both EDU and TAL, even if they have updates today and they're looking like it's up 20%, it's just a drop in the bucket from how hard these things got crushed in the last few sessions.
I mean, now my mind is just on video games. You guys want to talk about one more video game quick time? All right, I saw someone talk about it there about WWE. WrestleFest. WrestleFest is another game. I'd be the big boss man, and we would see what would happen there. So WrestleFest, another great game there. Play that if you can. It's funny because we were in Toys R Us on Saturday with my kids, and they had one of those Street Fighter games all set up there. And the next thing you know, my kid was asking me, how do you do that? And it was fun. Fun game. So I love passing that on to him as we go. But WrestleFest, another fun game. Their Ultimate Warrior, $1 Million Man. You put that $1 Million dream on somebody in that game, and it's night for them. Okay, right here, if we're going to drop out on AMD and let's get back to trading a little bit because you're on the show now, 90.85 would be the out there for AMD. There's some talk on Tilray, and look, it's Cannabis Central time now with their report. I put this in the chat earlier, I think, and if not, maybe I tweeted it out. But look, the cannabis space needs the federales, right? They need the federal government to come in, or more provinces is fine, but more states, they need more support, right? If it's not gonna, I think that's all that these stocks are waiting for. Their numbers aren't gonna be great. Are they selling more marijuana now? Who cares? It's a weed. Like, it grows fast. The profits are there. We know that. It just needs acceptance, man. A lot of these dispensaries need to have federal backing so they can accept credit cards, payments, things like that. The minute the federal government gets behind it, then you can start accepting different payment forms. Hedge funds can get in there. It'd be much more investable when they know that they have the support of the government. So again, until you see something like that, I don't even know, like, what can Tilray, just think about this. Whenever you're making an investment decision, like, what is the catalyst for it, right? Like, how many pounds, kilograms, whatever measurement you want of marijuana are these guys supposed to sell? It doesn't matter. It's all about future expectations. And until you get that, you know, more of a listing somewhere, something positive coming from one of these names, you're not going to get a bump. So I actually don't even look forward to these earnings. And I'm quite frankly, you know, whether or not we're scared of the earnings, that's the wrong terminology. We'll trade it. And could it be higher? Yes. But I just don't see the catalyst. So we will wait to see. And on that note, you know, hopefully that's enough talk and you can enjoy the product more than you may be enjoying the earnings report tomorrow. So just a heads up on that one. I wouldn't sell any of my position. You're down 7% today. I just don't, I wouldn't expect the moon per se.
I mean, they could just step on it a little bit, and maybe that'd be a way to increase some margins up there. But talking stocks that are moving, super chat, thank you very much. Well, did I miss it already? Thank you, Dominic. AEHR is, riding high, right at the high of the day, actually. And look, it was on volume in the morning that it got to that 580. It's on lighter volume that we're testing, actually testing that 580 top again. It is very, very strong. It is worth mentioning. You know, I had some decent trades off of a level here at this break, and I talked about this in the show, that if I have this break at 575, I absolutely should have had this one here. Instead, I shorted it shorted it poorly there. But all things in consideration, this is a bounce off support. I'm assuming this is what you're looking at when you get that long trade. It's a bounce off support from that break and then a hard reversal, and this is 525. But until it gets past not 580, but like $6, it's got to break out of this range here to maybe get going again. Otherwise, you're probably retesting that $5 level. For the day trade with only, oh my goodness, only 18 minutes to go here. Yeah, I mean, outside of just taking a scalp break at 580 when the volume is dying down here, there's not a heck of a lot to go. I have two shorts on TAL, which is only in the money like 3 or 4 cents at a time, and then I still hang on to that OBS fee. Whereas Lucid, and I came in here wanting to short Lucid, and I know we were talking in the chat, a trader was asking about, you know, holding the bag in Lucid and gave the opinion there. You never want to be a bag holder, but it happens to everybody. Don't average into something unless you would have been gotten into a position and believed in it. If you were flat, then you shouldn't add into a trade. And really, unless you plan to have more capital in that particular investment or trade, then you shouldn't be getting into any more of it anyways, just because it happens to be at a cheaper price. But Lucid, it never made that pop to VWAP. It's now breaking towards a low. I don't know if it can hold that 25 level, but it's only been trading a couple of sessions, and I'll show you, whatever. Daily chart doesn't matter, but I'll show you. This isn't the low since it had the transition over. The 25 break, maybe we're looking at that 24, 25 tomorrow. Not a heck of a lot to look at in our charts because before, of course, it was CCIV just a few sessions ago.
Okay, so just to give you guys a quick little update here, we did average in, we're almost out right now. So AMD, we're gonna play this 90.75 as it is falling down. We did take a small piece. It's gonna be a loser as this is gonna break through that 75 level there, but we did just take a last little fill right here, 80, 83, 84, something like that. So our average price right now is 03, not far. I mean, look, it's gonna be a 30-cent hit. We can afford to take that today. Hasn't been a great day, but we are green on the day, so that's good. Every time you got a green day, that's a good day, I believe. And we'll see where we go from here, though. With big earnings on deck. Here it goes. Going to break through 75, and there we go. So that, see, like hands off. I have the stop order in there. When a certain price is triggered, we are gone. So we will go fire the chicken out of the cannon here as bang, there it is. See ya. And that trade gets fried up there. So we won't worry about that as we go. Someone said, what am I planning on doing with GE? Yeah, you know, you're right. So I got out. So now I was just like, you know, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm holding a very, so now I'm like in 5% of my position, so it's not too crazy. But I'm going to wait to see now if we can get back to the high spot. We could check in quickly on the imbalances now. There's not much here in Canada at all. International paper here, IPL, or is that IPL pipeline? What is that? I think that's IPL. Let's see. Dash TC here. That is... yeah, Interpipeline, sorry. So Interpipeline there, 500,000 to buy, not really much else there. So I'm not going to really, I mean, let's see what it did to the stock here. Did it bump it up a little bit? It's a 1-minute chart. There it is. So yeah, nice little move upside when that came out, but nothing there. So we'll wait for that. No, nothing exciting on IPL. Checking out Apple, we just
This
saw
is a little bit late, but guys, I have my animations back. And Sean said Green Day, and like, I don't know, like one of my keys is wrong, so it actually went to the wrong page. But yeah, there you go. I like the animation. I had none yesterday. I had none in the morning show, but they're finally back in here, guys. I do want to mention XPIO. It did have this setup, guys, not to interrupt, but it just had this set up to the lower side. I was trying to catch it a little bit higher, 350 to 355, and was able to get into TAL by being patient. But this one might have come and gone. It's really testing this 320 level. If it flushes really hard, maybe you catch a falling sword at 3, but with 15 minutes to go, we're running out of time. The rollover feels good. I still have those two shorts. I can't seem to find anything that I really, really like to the long side there. TAL, again, it goes like 3 or 4 or 5 cents to the money. I might have to average in at 60s, but I will not add to this position past 350. Got to be flat by the end of the day, so not a time for me to be averaging in that final 10 minutes.
Oh, Brendan. SGOC halted right
word?
now. So a nice little move to the upside there. And we'll see where we're going now. 950 right there. It's just going to be, I don't think there's going to be news on this. This looks like a volatility halt. So we could check that out. And look what happened right here. I mean, if this is not a trade that you're scanning for, screening for, then you're me, because I didn't have this. But that break of that high, there are going to be a certain amount of names that we know can run, you know, like a Carve. We talked about CARV. We know Zila. There's a few other names right now that are pretty hot. I mean, we all know them. So you got to sort of track those to see where we're going. And there's another one here, SGOC again. It's a low float name, but probably just halted due to volatility. So we're not necessarily I mean, INTZ is another one today. You know, we're all over these, and so are you guys. So you always got to watch out for those breaks. Like right now, there's nothing here. So I wouldn't say that this is SGOC. Yeah, this is not a day high break or anything like that. So if you get this kind of a break, then maybe you get back to VWAP, things like that. Or if you break the bottom, you might have some action. But look where we start halting on these names, right? Like you break little levels here. This is 1230. So you break that day high and start to run. Then you get some couple halts back and forth in here. So you need to break key levels in order for it to run. And right now I don't see that. But there it goes. Like just so I just said that right now. Breaking that 540 might get you to VWAP, and that gets you there in a quick hurry as INTZ starting to break higher.
Yeah, I mean, as he says it, like I've been waiting for that pop in INTZ. I actually have my stop set that if it breaks this 580 area, I was going to get out. But I worked into that one, sort of sitting around waiting for it to make that push to the upside. I wanted Lucid to do a similar move. And then look, I'd be celebrating that we got some of the TAL out there, but new position alert for me because I got into that INTZ. Just looking for that. I said head and shoulders because that's kind of what the pattern is, but you know, really for me, it's more about that retracement, turn it into a short. Ever since we had that halt, it's been more reasonable trade. SGOC, if it opens back up, we'll have a look, but possible it doesn't open until at 4 o'clock. Brendan?
Another earnings name, guys. Just saw Starbucks pop up on volume scanner here, coming back up towards 126. They announced this morning they're moving away from South Korea. So their presence in South Korea no longer for Starbucks. But yeah, earnings coming as well.
No more South Korean money, you say. Okay. It doesn't matter. We've lost about, I don't know how many Starbucks just around we had like 5 around our office. Now I think we have 1 or 2, a lot of them closing there due to the pandemic, as I get the evil stare from Valeria.
Pandemic.
But as Starbucks, again, they're going to beat today. So, and if they don't beat, then it's going to be a problem. And the reason why, look at what this chart on this stock, it's just been absolutely just ripping since we took out this 120 level all the way up to 125. So that was just a couple days ago, takes it out upside. And it's been nothing but love for Starbucks here. But today, everything gave back a little bit. Starbucks only 0.07. And again, I can't recommend holding anything into earnings. I mean, holding fine, but like, you know, actively waiting for something to happen and trying to call what was going to happen on earnings is very, very tough. We did make that move on Snapchat. But again, when I'm looking at this is already broken out. If Starbucks was down here, then I'd say, okay, we could probably take out this 120. But because we're already up here, we do have a little bit of a problem. We're looking for consolidated names on earnings to hold overnight, right? Not a name like this. It could beat, great. But imagine if this beats, it's only going to be up like 3 or 4% would be my guess. But when Starbucks misses, you can retrace back to the 50 period, which is going to be $10. So, you know, you do have some downside moves there. There we go. SGOC now open back up. And then there it goes to ripping even more now. Forget about the 1 day. There goes SGOC. Opens back up at 10 or so. Now you're up to 1080. Probably going to halt again. So that's SGOC. Nothing but love. There it is. 11. There it goes. Here comes the halt. 11 and upside. Might halt again here, guys. But very dangerous taking this trade into the close. But there it is, SGOC. This looks like a halt situation where it can't go any higher or lower. So watch out for a halt here on SGOC.
I actually tried to hit 1030 there as it go past that 1025. Try to catch 1030 there on the break. I mean, it's not very liquid, so you couldn't get it at all. I do have the 3 short positions on. I did get TAL, at least some of TAL's in the NASDAQ. I did get some of this out as it came to the downside here. With only 10 minutes to go, I'll not be adding to any of these 3 short positions, but I have to start getting actively out of these. TAL just a rollover off of the previous high. Not a very complex trade there. And then INTZ, which I think at the very beginning we brought this name up, I said I was going to short a pop if it got into that 580 range, or close to VWAP, I should say. We were able to get 555. I haven't been able to get hit on the high end of this cluster here in front of 5.25, but I'll still try to do that. If we get past 550, 350, which is about to happen right here, right now, I don't expect a big imbalance, but I might trim the position just because we're running out of time to get out of these. And SGOC this time, I think it might not open back up again until after the close. There we go. Finally catch a little bit of a fill here, so get a little bit of that TAL out again in the 40s. That's a nice little winner there. We'll hit, I don't know, Maroons, because I haven't hit that in a long time. Brendo?
It's, I was going to duck away from that. It's a pinata. Lots of earnings, guys. We've talked about a few of them already. Today might be the biggest day, but although tomorrow is pretty big as well. But here we go. Aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow, earnings.
Okay, so, I mean, all the big ones are there, man. We've talked about this over and over again. We don't have to beat a dead horse, but all the big ones are right there in the middle. Thank you to Valeria for putting this together. I'm most excited about AMD because we last touched 100 and then fell back down to 70, 75 or so. So we'll watch out what AMD does. And then my largest holding in my long-term portfolio, of course, is Alphabet. Look, I feel like there's been some names disappearing off here because
there were more in that little cluster in the right there.
What happened there, Valeria? No, we cannot. That's QuantumScape on there, and we'll look to see there.
That was like the Matumbo finger right there. No, we cannot. That's it. Like, hold on a second. How dare you to get rid of General Dynamics? How dare you get rid of
Pfizer? Pfizer she got rid of.
That ain't right, man. I was trying to ignore that, but
okay, just the balances are now out, guys. So a nice little bid here for Apple. So we'll see if that can hold. Maybe that's a sign. Someone right now looking to buy 3 million. Well, so if you do this, 2 plus 3 plus a little bit of change, you're about 5.5 million shares of Apple transacting here at the close. So that's a big order to go through, and it's on the buy side right now. So we'll see if that comes through for Apple. It was a 5.3 share buy, now being paired off 3. So we'll see about that one. And other than that, there's not much on here that we really need to be worried about. I don't see Tilray. I don't see any marijuana names. There's Twitter on the bottom as well. So and then CS up there on the top side. But right now it should be good. But the Apple is the most interesting to me.
Awesome. Finally got some INTZ out again. Like it has to come to plan, right? Like I wanted to short over in Lucid as well. It never gave me the pop into VWAP. We had that one sitting waiting with a stop to cover, able to get it out there. I got most of TAL out as well. I covered OBSV because it couldn't push any further, not moving, but that's a 60-cent winner. We'll take that all day, every single day. I will say this, watch out crossing Miss V, because she gives cut eye like she was born and raised in the West Indies. I got to give credit to the cut eye that she can give. It is absolutely impressive. Lots of earnings to get to, of course, as we mentioned there. The big names on the board. The market is going to end up in red territory, but I feel like that is just some profit taking. We're at those highs, and some people thinking if we're priced to perfection, we can't really break out. SGOC. I'm not saying it's not going to open up until 4 o'clock, but it's probably not going to open up till after 4 o'clock. If you're a day trader and this is not on your radar for tomorrow morning, after multiple halts going into the close, I don't know what you're looking at. I'll be all over this probably in the pre-market. Doesn't mean that there's going to be a trade there, but certainly a move like this, which on no news, it was just a clean breakout that might take you into some interesting levels, at least. I mean, I don't know, if we even sniff like 12.85 or like 13, that lower high here, that could be a great level tomorrow morning. So SGOC should be on your radar for tomorrow. TAL, running out of time for this one to work any further. At this particular time, I always think it's on the NASDAQ. I don't know why. 3-letter symbol. I always pop it back in here. It does give me the move down to 540, so it's a decent trade. But at this point, I'm not giving it to the high of the day. That's just ridiculous. Why would I allow it to come back into 570 here? I'll just go to break even. I have a couple of minutes to hang on to it. TAL and INTs that have been decent shorts for us here, but they did not follow all the way through. So both closing on strength. With TAL's case, all things are relative. There's no splits involved in this. This just legitimately went from $89 to like $570. So it can be up 27%. I don't think many people are happy unless you bought it this morning or bought it yesterday and sold today. Not the greatest look for this particular chart, but hey, if you got to go not for profit, that's probably not a good way to inflate the stock price. Just a guess.
No, probably not. And yeah, I mean, some of these Chinese names are going to be good at some point. We just don't know when that point is. Shout out to Hydration Nation. What's up? Here today, we're trying to pound back this water. Halfway done, so we didn't do our job today. We'll try to do better on that tomorrow. So I can't believe we still survived this. So we will just do like, sort of like sitting out here in the, oh, that's the wrong one. I was going to say we're in the weeds here with Neo today, but we can hit that. You know, we can do Weed Batman. Weed Batman will be in the building tomorrow off that Tilray earnings. There it is. Here's Weed Batman. All right, so Weed Batman will be here tomorrow to analyze some of that, and that's just a fictional character, so there'll be nobody here tomorrow to analyze cannabis earnings other than us. But rate downside there, to get out of the way of this Neo drop was pretty epic. It's a negative stock for me today, but we're able to somehow take a little bit of profit out here. And then, yeah, we tried to defend 39.50. That didn't happen. We dipped down to 38.70 there as the bottom. And then if you look at a daily chart, we are now below this 50 period. But again, I want to get it. I have never bought Neo, and I think it's a good opportunity to do that. I just want to wait into this area because, again, if there wasn't the rhetoric right now with the CCP and things like that, I really think that this is a decent buy down here. But remember, with earnings and different things happening there, like, I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these names. Are they going to report worse on purpose to say maybe give up some of that from the CCP, like stop pressuring us type thing? So I'm just a little bit nervous. We could check back on Tesla maybe. So this down 9%. We know Tesla's not down 9, but we could double check on that one. As today, Tesla not doing a whole hell of a lot. We had traded that a little bit here today, but it did make that bottom. Wow, 625, okay. But again, survived Tesla here today. And it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Nice little bounce back for them. So I think you got to be happy if you are an owner of Tesla stock because it was a hell of a lot lower, 20 bucks lower at a point today. So a nice rebound in the NASDAQ. Nice to see Tesla follow that as well.
Too bad that wick isn't real that you see up there,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. There's just a dark pool print that went off there. I just got an INTZ.
You know how important dark pools are, Neil?
We know what they're very, very important, especially when they're those ridiculously late prints that are just overnight action getting reported, whatever. I mean, they're important in the sense that they're all trades that have happened and occurred, but it is what it is. We don't care too much about them. We care about the fact that we got to get flat at the end of the day. It means all positions off. I'm out of INTZ here. It didn't get past this little cluster, so decent support. It holds up at that 480 level. That was, I mean, the first halt. Well, I guess the first halt, a reopen that had the absolute bottom has still held up here, and I think that's a decent sign. At least for the stock. I mean, the chart's not going to be fantastic on the daily. That kind of is what it is. But you do look at this nice consolidation breakout on this particular name. Even below that 480 level, you do look here when this flush just into last week on the 20th, you had sort of a similar level as a bit of a resistance point. So on the idea that resistance turns into support, maybe INTZ's found itself a good one here off of 480. Even though I had a short trade on it, always worth looking at the key levels going into tomorrow's trade. It should be a fun one. Anything that does volume like this and a spike like this, you want to see if it holds up for the following day. Should be all over your list. I know INTZ and SGOC, which of course is still not open, are going to be front of the center for my list. Plus, all the earnings that we have should lead to some interesting trade tomorrow, to be sure, Sean.
Yeah, I just try to see, yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be interesting. Join us tomorrow for sure. We'll have our watch list out, which will go over all the earnings. So if you haven't signed up already, watchlist.tradertv.live. Hit that up right now. Valeria will put that in the chat, our watch list page. And if you just want to get a quick review of all the earnings, most of them, obviously not all of them, most of the big ones that we'll be looking at will be on that. So if you want to check that out, and then of course at Trader TV, Sean will be the sticky note. Again, so that'll be tomorrow's sticky note. Right now, nice to see Apple again battling back, but it's just a NASDAQ story, so I don't know how true it's going to be for Apple itself, but that earnings report's going to be coming, and it's going to be hot fire, so watch out. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm not trying to make a call here on Apple earnings, but hey, I'm a big holder of this name, and I see lots and lots of tailwinds and very few headwinds, so let's wait to see. I mean, China's could be a problem. If they start talking about that in the call, then watch out with Foxconn and so on and so forth. A lot of their manufacturing over there, but I believe that they are fine with the Chinese government, so we'll wait to see what happens with Apple, but we're going to watch out for that. And AMD and Starbucks, they're all on board. Quick check here with only 1 minute to go. The imbalance locator, Apple not on there. Everything's pretty much paired off. The only thing we got left is Credit Suisse, and that's kind of a nothing burger there. So it's only a $10 stock. So we'll wait to see what happens with Credit Suisse, but nothing happening right now. GE 1310, we got out of that one for a loss today.
Yeah, I mean, having a lot of fun here. It does feel like a Friday in some ways, only because the team is having a little bit of fun. Check out, just listen to if you're interested in AMD, listen to that call, see what happens with that Xilinx. You'd love to see them be able to close that deal. Xilinx has been under pressure the last couple of days as there's been a few deals that got walked back in the overall M&A space. And then that puts pressure on other deals which have had a long road to acceptance and approval from the regulators. And Xilinx's deal is going to be a big one. We got to drop the countdown. It should work because I actually have my key again.
Woohoo!
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. I hit a button, it worked. We got Randy on the bell. Trader TV Randy gonna do it up for us in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hit it.
Wow, Randy. I mean, Randy taking that very, very seriously, I see there. So not a smile on the man's face, but was a great close to the day, believe it or not, with that nice little rally back in the NASDAQ. If anything happens within the next couple minutes and we see it on our screens, we'll get it to you. But Brendan, how exactly did we finish?
Yeah, real quick, we'll have a look, guys. Pretty red right across the board as far as, wow, that just got really bright in here. 0.46 to the downside, the Dow, 0.35. It was the NASDAQ ahead of these reports, leading 1.15. Brazil lower, we were flat here in Toronto. Yeah, lots of red today, guys, ahead of these reports, as we were saying.
Look at you, Toronto, at least being up. But yeah, the big numbers are coming through when we get those earnings. Everyone's going to be paying attention because it's going to be a market bellwether. I mean, how Apple reacts when their numbers are going to be fantastic is going to be certainly a key. 150 is a big level. We rejected it already today. Stick around. We do have the trade day coming through. And hey, it's not always about winners, losers. It's about managing trades. And on Tesla, when it was coming down after earnings, there was a way to limit losses, and we'll go over that plan. So make sure you stick around for the trade of the day. It is on Tesla, Sean.
Yeah, good trade of the day for sure coming up there. So thanks to Neil. He's going to be on that trade of the day. Look, nothing's really come out. My eyes are glued here. I don't see anything happening right now. So I did want to give a big thank you to, I was going to say the Three Stooges, but there's 4 of them, and excluding Maggie, of course. So there is 3 there. What's up to Rob, Randy, and Lucas? Thank you so much for all the work. And I just kid. Without them, we would have maybe the Three Amigos there. If anyone watches that movie, that's a fantastic movie as well. Three Amigos. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, man. It's big earnings time. You know, be glued to your phones. Let's see what happens. We are back here tomorrow to trade this all with you. Thank you for watching. For Neil, there he is. Yeah, Macro is. Oh, yeah.
This is Three Amigos, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Microsoft is now out quickly. We can quickly look at that. Let's see what's happening here. Is there any movement on the stock?
Jam.
Yeah, 290. Microsoft taking it out right now. A nice little movement upside for Microsoft. So hells yeah on that one. Ting, if you're invested there. As we do that, you watch tomorrow. Microsoft will have a 270 handle on it. Who knows where it's going to go, but Microsoft is now out. For Neil, doing the Three Amigos. For Valeria, sitting here typing away and always working. And for Brendan, apparently in our chat, being silly.
46% increase in LinkedIn revenue, Sean.
Amazing. Thank you for that update there on the LinkedIn revenue. They bought LinkedIn, of course, about 5 or 6 years ago, I believe, maybe even longer than that. We're your Trader TV Live team, and we have too much fun, so catch us tomorrow. Ciao.
Hey guys.
See you guys.